Welcome back to the R&D podcast. My name is Dalton.
RJ?
Today we're going to be talking about the number 16 ranked Vanderbilt Commodores coming into Bryant-Denny Stadium, take on the number 10 ranked Alabama Crimson Tide. College Game Day is going to be there. Guest picker was announced today, and Theo Vaughn. One of the interesting things to me is last year, obviously, you had the big upset, but this year going into this game, Vandy has not yet had a bye week, so you still have a kind of a tired Vandy team. You can say all you want to about, oh, what does it matter, blah, 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 blah. They've only played 6 games. 6 games is a lot of football without some rest in between. We'll talk a little bit more about the game as we go on. Starting off, let's talk about, the setting of the game. Bryant-Denny Stadium, 2:30 kickoff, College Game Day. What do you imagine that atmosphere is going to be like, RJ?
It's going to be very brutal for Vanderbilt going to Bryant-Denny and trying to win this game. I feel like it's going to be a shootout game. I don't think it's going to be a defensive game at all.
You said it. One thing you said right there was that it's going to be very brutal for Vandy. One of the interesting quotes that Diego Pavia said this week was the fact that he says that as long as they go into Bryant-Denny and they play their game, that they should blow Bama out. Which, the thing I like about Pavia, right, is the confidence he has in himself and his team and their ability to win. That's what makes a good leader. And I feel like Pavia is a great quarterback. Maybe not even a quarterback. He's just a great football player. He's a great leader. He's a great person to have on a team that is an underdog. And you see what Vanderbilt's done. He's made them to where they're not an underdog. I mean, they're underdog in this game, but against most teams, you're like, oh man, this Vandy team can straight up win this game. So it's been very, very great to see what him and Clark Lee's doing with Vanderbilt. And it's a little bit different.
To me, Vandy looks like the most physical team in college football right now. They look very physical in every game they play.
We'll start off like talking about their Vanderbilt's offense against Bama's defense because this has been the big talking point of the whole game. If not, it'll be Todd Simpson versus Diego Pavia. But Alabama's problem for the past, you can say the Kalen DeBoer era, but really just hasn't been the Kalen DeBoer era. It's been their problem for the past 15, 20 years now is stopping a rushing quarterback, a mobile quarterback. It seems like it just gives Bama fits, and that's your guide to win against Bama. Kane Womack and Kalen DeBoer has gone up against 5 rushing mobile quarterbacks now and hasn't had success against any of them. Right. So you look at Thomas Castellanos at the beginning of the season. What's going to change for Kane Womack in this game to be able to shut? Because I think Diego Pavia is a better quarterback than Castellanos by maybe not a mile, but I think he definitely is a better quarterback. What's going to change in this game for Kane Womack, and how can he stop Diego Pavia?
I'm not sure what's going to change. I mean, he hasn't really changed nothing with the run game. I mean, I really don't know.
It's like I think that's how the whole Alabama fan base feels. Is I don't know how are we going to do this because we haven't seen it yet. And I don't know if Kane Womack really knows. I don't know if Kalen DeBoer really knows. Because a lot of times it feels like it comes down to an execution issue and like mental mistakes or just basic mistakes that you don't expect the team of this caliber to do. But whenever you put so much stress on those linebackers and you put so much stress on these gap schemes with this type of swarm defense they're playing, you are going to get gashed every now and then. You're going to force a lot of turnovers, but you're also going to get gashed.
Tell you what, don't go and double mug on the 30-yard line.
Yeah, no freaking doubt. I agree with that. Talking about Eli Stovers, one of the best. He's the most NFL-ready player on this Vanderbilt team. He's going to be a big factor for Vanderbilt this week. The kid's he's a good ball player. Obviously, he's a roommate with Diego Pavia. They have great chemistry, so that'll be interesting to see. What do you think stands out for Vanderbilt on offense for them to be able to have a chance to win this game whenever they're a 10.5-point underdog?
The run game. I mean, look at the Georgia game last week. Bama still got the dub. That's a good job on Bama. But they still let up, 220 rushing yards, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they still let up 220 rushing yards. So if I'm Vandy, I'm looking at this game like I'm going to run the ball until they can stop it. Mm-hmm. And then if they stop it, okay, well, that should open up my pass game, and then let Diego Pavia pick Bama apart on defense with the pass game with Eli Stovers.
you're talking about run game for Vandy. We'll talk about get just to throw little stats on the table here. They're 53% run offense, which 53 to 47. Run game is number 14th in the country, but run success is number 1 in the country. I think they run the ball very efficiently, and Diego Pavia's ability to use his legs in the run game is a great thing as well. The one thing that we haven't seen, and we'll talk about this when we start talking about maybe Alabama's offense, is the fact that Vanderbilt hasn't played against a great passing team yet. The best one that you could say they've played against is South Carolina, but you really don't know what that receiver room looks like so far. Is that a worry for Vanderbilt coming in this game whenever you're coming up against a hot Ty Simpson who just beat Georgia on the road? Do you worry about the passing game?
Well, I mean, my opinion, but do you think it really matters if you can't stop the run? If Kane Wilmot can't stop the run, I mean, does it really matter to you? I mean, what do you think?
I mean, if Kane Wilmot can't stop the run, then yeah, I mean that throws a wrench in our plans. But I'm talking about just put all that to the side, put Alabama's defense to the side. What does Vanderbilt's defense need to do to get off the field, and how do they counteract a hot start for Ty Simpson?
Bring pressure to Ty Simpson. I mean, if you let Ty Simpson have time back there, I mean, you've seen it during the Georgia game. I mean, he'll pick you apart, and especially his sneaky ability with his legs.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Ty Simpson surprised me against the Georgia game. I didn't know he's going to be like that this year. After that Georgia game, watching Ty Simpson, I mean, hats off to the O line too. That game too.
Mm-hmm.
But my God, Ty Simpson can be a Heisman winner this year if he keeps on playing like that. But Vandy, like I said, bring pressure to Ty Simpson. Don't let him get too much time. I would put the fastest guy I have on edge with Caden Proctor, because you know how Caden Proctor is with fast DNs.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's interesting that you say that, which I like. I like that you say that because that's a good take. I agree with that. But in the Georgia game, you saw Georgia put Chris Carter, the best defensive best pass rusher, on Wilkin Forby's side. On the other side of the offensive line and go up against him. Instead of, I thought they would favor the Proctor matchup, but obviously that could be a bad take on my end. But I thought they would like to go against Proctor. I agree with you in that statement. So.
But
you go. Well, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go. You got it.
I was just gonna say I hate to keep jumping back and forth. Vanderbilt's offensive line. This is another interesting matchup that I wanted to talk about when we were on the kind of the topic of Alabama's defense and Vanderbilt's offense. They're kind of undersized, but they're really athletic. They're sneaky athletic. They play really well. They're great in their system. But notable things to have if you're Alabama. You're without 2 of your main keys on the defensive line, Quay Russaw, who's out for multiple weeks, and then also you had the targeting penalty that keeps James out of the game. So it's going to be interesting to see whenever you have 2 of your best, pass rushers / run stopper out of the game to start this game. I mean, it's really a huge loss for Bama. You're going to have to see the corners and everything get really involved in the run game and try to keep Pavia from being able to break loose. But the key for Alabama is the linebackers, if you agree.
Yeah, I was about to say that standing flat-footed when the running back's already at the line, I mean, you can't do that, especially against this run attack team you're playing against this weekend. You can't do that, or they're going to run for 5+ yards every play on you.
You saw what happened last year, right? You had 3 main factors: is third down conversion rate, time of possession, and turnovers. And Vanderbilt won that game at Vandy, right? This year, it's kind of the same blueprint. You really need that. And if you're Alabama, you need the exact opposite, just like any team does in a game. But Alabama playing at home, do you foresee those things happening? And, who could be a game changer for Bama? Or do you think they need a game changer? Do you think they'll walk away with it? I know you said it was going to be a shootout. But who do you think shows up for Bama? And do they need that edge to be able to beat this Vandy team?
I feel like Ty Simpson will show up again this game and lead Alabama into this game, hopefully. Defensive wise, I don't think there will be much defense being played in this game. Like I said, I feel like it's going to be a shootout.
Yeah, I agree. I think this Vandy's defense. I think Vandy's defense in the pass game. Obviously, Alabama hasn't been very great in the run game. You've seen them incorporate different schemes and stuff like that to be able to open up the run game in ways that are not considered run.
Right.
But you haven't seen them be really efficient just handing it off tackle to tackle within the box. So looking at Alabama's passing game against this Vandy, secondary, I think Ty Simpson has the ability to be able to go for a lot of yards in this game and be able to score quickly. But honest to God, you don't want that to happen. Against this Vandy team, if your defense is not getting stops, you got to control the football, and that scares me if we're not able to run the ball. Obviously, you saw against Georgia, we controlled the clock very well. But felt like last year when we played Vandy, we got sped up, and obviously that probably is due to the turnovers. You had 2 really bad turnovers to start the game, but it's just keeping Vandy trying to keep us sped up and get us off the field so they can hold on the ball for 9 minutes a quarter is a big deal to me. And I think Alabama's going to find a way to remain on the football field, even if you only win 21-7. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But who do you think will stand out on Alabama's offense in this game besides Ty Simpson? Like, you got a receiver, a running back that may go off. I mean, I know Jeremy Bernard's been a huge fan. You've been a huge fan of Jeremy Bernard this season, but is there anybody in mind?
Either Bernard or if Alabama run game comes live, I'm gonna say Jam Miller.
Mm.
Jam Miller is a dog, but I haven't. I mean, he's been back for one game, but still, the running game still hasn't showed up for Alabama. If the run game shows up for Alabama, Alabama is serious this year.
Yeah.
So I feel like either Jam Miller or Bernard will be the other 2 standout players this game.
Mm. I Jeremy's ability to be able to be involved with every single play that we run in our offense is really amazing. It's kind of like a Deebo Samuel for the 49ers back when he was there. How they use him as just basically all over the field. He can probably even line up back there and play quarterback if something happened with Ty. You know what I'm saying? Like, the kid is just an athlete.
And I feel like in this game, if not just pointing out Ryan Williams, but if Ryan Williams missed a big explosive play like that in this game, I feel like Bama could lose the game off that one.
You can't.
One explosive play, but y'all still scored. But
yeah,
yeah,
not to go back in the past or anything, but the drops for Ryan Williams this year have been pretty rough, and you've seen he still had good games. Don't get me wrong, but they could have been way better in a player of that caliber. You expect for him to perform. But I think one of the biggest pieces of this game, and we're not talking about it right now, is Alabama's tight ends. They weren't a huge factor in the Georgia game, but I feel like against this Vanderbilt team, they're going to know that we want to stretch the field. You can't play man against this Alabama pass attack. I think you're going to have a lot of underneath routes, a lot of rollouts for the tight ends. And I think Josh Cuevas, guys like that are going to get involved in this pass game a lot more in this game and become a factor late down the stretch whenever Alabama needs them the most.
Well, that's the Ryan Grubb and Kalen DeBoer offense right there is their tight end. Their tight end has to be in the offense, And I feel like
it has to be involved.
I feel like he'll be used a lot during this game also.
I look forward to seeing what Ty Simpson can do this week. Coming off a couple hot games here, he proved me wrong, and I thought he was going to be a little bit slower in the Georgia game. But man, the kid looked the best he's looked all season, really and truly. Like, if you want to just talk about on time throwing the football, it's 3 steps and a hitch and throw. He's looked great. So if Ty Simpson can remain that, I have Bama being able to walk out of Tuscaloosa with a 35-21 win, 14-point margin. Pretty hefty. I think Pavia is really, really good, and I think that's the reason why they do that they take the game that far. But I think Bryant Denny is going to be loud, and they're going to be mad because of what happened last year and getting embarrassed. And I think Pavia's talked a little bit of trash, which I respect because he is a leader. He's a great football player. But I think Alabama fans may show up to this game, and I think the football team won't take this one lightly. And last year, it was an element of surprise because you didn't think that team had what it took. Everybody wrote them off. You just beat Georgia. Like, who cares? You got Vandy now. It's basically a bye week. And we got whooped. This year, you know who they are. And I think that's a big difference. So I have Alabama winning, not by a blowout, but definitely a good margin.
Tommy was talking that crap too. Look what happened,
Yeah.
But I'm gonna agree with you there. I feel like it's gonna be a shootout. It's gonna be a very close game. I feel like I don't think it's gonna be a 14-point margin. I feel like it's gonna be like a 3 or 7-point margin because I think this Vandy team is really, really, really good and people's really down on them. But I'm gonna go Bama since it's at Bryant Denny Stadium and y'all been looking hot lately. I'm gonna go 45-41 Bama.
I like that. I had this weird gut feeling, right? And there's really no other reason besides that's kind of how I feel. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's
Yeah.
no like, yeah, that's like, this is statistically proves this. It's really just a like, this is how I feel type of pick. Because a 14 margin is a lot. If you had to look at the stats, you had to look at how Vanderbilt's playing, you're probably like, oh, it's a 3 or 7 point game, and I completely agree with that. But just off of like hey, I don't really know how I feel about this game, but this is kind of pulling me in more of a direction than what this is. As far as kind of being a little bit of an Alabama dominance, I'm feeling like we're either going to see a Diego Pavia Heisman like get me in the talks, like I'm gonna prove who I am, like Johnny Manziel type of
Yeah.
game, or we're going
He
to see
can.
Alabama whooping. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like Pavia can. Honestly, I feel like Pavia can come in this game and win it. But Bama's just been looking so hot lately.
And that's the
And
thing.
it's
Yeah.
hard to go with Vandy when Bama's been looking so hot. But last year after Georgia, you know what happened to Bama after Georgia. They just,
Yeah.
you know.
This year,
But
you know who they are. You know who Pavia is. You know who Clark
yeah,
Lee is. They're great. They're great player. There's a great player, great coach. So you have a lot to be able to rebound off of this year instead of just walking in and
right.
getting absolutely blindsided. But hopefully, Alabama will prove me right this week. I got them a 14-point favorite, pretty hefty. But it's kind of one of those things. I can't explain it to you, but I'll tell you that's how I feel. So I'm gonna stick with my gut. If you don't respect that, you don't respect that.
I got a question.
Yeah.
Do you really think Bryant Denny Stadium's like loud? Like mine is a beautiful stadium. Don't get me wrong. It's a beautiful stadium. But it's an old fan base. Do you really think it's like
So I think Bryant Denny Stadium does not sound as loud in the stands as what it is actually on the field because of the way the stadium is built.
yeah,
Um, like that's a good question because it doesn't feel as loud whenever you're in it. But can you imagine being on that field and you have fans screaming from every side of you, and there's a lot more people in that stadium than what you really think there is? Um,
yeah.
I think Bryant Denny has the ability to affect a football game, but do I think it's the loudest stadium in the country? No. Um,
Do you think it's
but
top 10?
I think it's top 10. I think that's reasonable to say. I mean, because what you have, Michigan, Penn State, Ohio State. You can't count. I wouldn't count Texas. I would count.
Texas
I mean,
A&M.
who else? Texas A&M. Yeah. Um, I mean, really and truly, like Bama's got to squeeze in somewhere in the top 10. You know what I'm saying? I don't think there's enough big stadiums, but Alabama, I agree with you. There is a little bit of an older fan base, but there's a point in time where, like, you look back at the Georgia game last year, and that could have possibly been, like Josh Payton said in a podcast. I'm just going to quote him that Alabama Georgia game last year could have possibly been the loudest game that he had been to all year last year.
Yeah.
I forgot to say Tennessee. Tennessee is probably the loudest stadium in the country. Neyland's ridiculous, but yeah, I think Alabama has the ability to affect a football game. Now, do I think it's something like Neyland, however you want to say it? No,
Yeah.
but I do think a team like Vanderbilt coming in that it can play a factor.
Yeah. I got you. That's this question. I'm not
No,
picking
it's a good
Auburn.
question. No,
But
I respect it. I respect it. No, I agree. Because I have the same feeling like whenever you're at a game, you're like, man, this place isn't as loud as what I expected it to be. But then you got to think about where you're at compared to the sound. So if you're on the field, I think it's a little bit louder.
Like I've been in an Auburn game and I've been in an Alabama game. I could feel the vibration off people's voices in Auburn Stadium.
Yeah.
I'm sure
Yeah.
you have been a game, so you're
Mm.
going to the Iron Bowl this year, ain't you?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, no, Auburn's loud. Auburn's ridiculously loud. I really that's something I've always been kind of curious about, and I feel like it's the way the stadium's built comparison to like other stadiums.
yeah,
Because I forgot, I think it's Michigan. It's either Michigan or Ohio State. Like the stadium is built to hold sound in, and that's when it sounds so loud. I mean, obviously there's a lot of people, but that's when it sounds so loud. So I think there's something with Bryant Denny Stadium that makes it sound like it's not as loud as what it actually is, maybe on the field.
yeah. I got you. Well,
But other than that, you got anything else you want to add in? Anything else you want to ask or throw into the game?
no, I'm ready for Saturday, man.
I heard that. Well, I'm going to be taking a trip to Tuscaloosa to see Theo Vaughn and College Game Day Company out there. It's going to be fun. I look forward to it. Once they said they were coming to Tuscaloosa, I was like, man, I really want to go check it out. So that'll be a good time, and I think we will, have a good atmosphere. I hope the game goes well and all the above. But Diego Pavia, he is, like you said, a dog, and it could go sideways really fast. So, but anyways, this has been the RD podcast. Catch us on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. Make sure to like and subscribe and follow. Anyways, this has been, Dalton,
RJ.
and we'll catch you next time.